I thought it would be fun to do something really easy, this little 3-layer, so you can hang it as an ornament or wall decor. Okay, let's get started on our owl. Hi, I'm Lucy, paperglitterglue.com. That's my website. And I almost always do paper crafts. I just like to work with paper. This is my cardstock owl. It is 3 layers of cardstock, and it's just really fun and easy, and it makes just great decor. So I've got 2 different kind of tabs for him, so you can hang him on the wall, or like I did, I added the owl to this banner. So I cut it out with my Cricut Maker, and the pattern is available as PDFs and as SVG cut files. So let's get started making the little owl wall decor. All right, let's make our little owl ornament or wall decor. So I'm on Cricut Design Space. This is the home canvas, the home. I'm going to click New Project, and that brings us to the canvas. I need to upload the design, and I'm on my laptop because that's basically what I work off of. So I think it's probably easier on your laptop. I'm going to click Upload in this lower left-hand corner, the Upload button. I'm going to upload image, browse. So I've clicked on my owl ornament SVG file, and that is the way it looks. You can see score lines here, and they're in red, but when Cricut uploads it to Design Space, you don't actually see them as red. And I just make that point just so you know that the score lines are red. I always draw them in red. Okay, continue. And here's our image detail part where you can add tags and keywords if you want. You can add them to a collection. So I'm going to skip that part and just go to upload in the lower right hand corner, and this brings up our file onto the canvas itself. This isn't a very big file. A lot of my files are pretty big, so it fits at 100%. I'm still going to reduce it just one little bit. Oh, and you can see my square, which I use for scale. So I'm going to ungroup. And when we see that the square is 1 by 1, we know that's correct. I'm going to delete it now. This little tab is designed for hanging your owl ornament on a small nail, a little tack, or something like a command strip. It does have a score line. So let's go over to the layers panel, this layers panel, and pick out that line. So that line, I'm going to click on it, and I need to change it. I need to change it to score. So we go over to the operations menu, and one thing you can see here, that's the color block, and it tells you, this little color square tells you what color the line was drawn in, and I drew it as red, and that's another clue that it is indeed a score line. Okay, let's go down to operations. I'm going to scroll down to score. And now the line turns into a dashed line. But we need to make sure that Cricut understands, our Cricut cutting machine understands that this line belongs to this piece, so we attach it. Let's do the same thing for this tag, this little tab. It's for, this is the same shape that if you want to hang it on a banner, like we did for the tombstone, then you can use this one if you like. Get the score line, operation, score, click the entire piece, attach. All right, now everything's ungrouped. Well, now let's ungroup the owl so you can see all the pieces. We have a little tree branch that the owl is sitting on. We have the first cutout, which has the leaves and most of the detail, and the only other detail that's cut out are the eyes in this orange piece. So this gives the background, and provides the cutout for the orange, and then the black makes the eyes stand out. So those are your 3 pieces. And really, that's the main thing you need to know. Now, in terms of cutting it, I had some papers that cut beautifully on heavy cardstock, the heavy cardstock setting for my Cricut Maker, but some cardstocks did not, and I needed to cut it out with the cardstock for intricate cut setting. So you kind of have to know your machine and your cardstock to know that. The safest one to use is cardstock for intricate cuts, because these are definitely pretty intricate. They're not that small, but it is a lot of detail. So if you're just cutting one out just for safety, I would try, or just to be safer, not tear up your cardstock, I would start off with cardstock for intricate cuts. If you're cutting out several of them, like I did, then you could kind of experiment. But I really think cardstock for intricate cuts is the best way to go. You'll have the most success. And a sticky mat, whenever you have lots of cuts to make, a sticky mat holds the paper down well so that the paper doesn't lift up when the blade goes by. And I used a fine cut blade. All right, now let's go to construction. Next, we're going to make this fun little wall hanging, this little decor. It's an owl that was inspired by a vintage owl I saw, and I just thought it would be really fun to make, so I simplified it as much as I could. So it's made of 3 layers. Background piece. This one makes the eyes pop, so you don't have to glue, little pieces in for the eyes. And then we add the stick. Let me see if I got it right. So that it shows up the owl's claws. See, kind of outlines them. There's a cutout on the stick to do that. So anyway, I thought that was kind of a fun detail. It's easy. Cardstock and glue. Oh, and depending on how you want to use it, I've got these little these little hanger pieces. This one is so you can just hang it on like a command strip or just some little nail thumbtack. But this one is kind of designed if you want to use it on a garland, so you can kind of thread the yarn or the string through. So I included both of those in the file, and it's really easy. Oh, except you have to remember to line it up. Just like a lot of things I make, it's not symmetrical. Like this ear is kind of rounded and this one's sharper. And so you want to glue them together correctly. You can see I had to peel off one because I did this one backwards. But anyway, so be sure you line it up exactly right, kind of match the ears. And then I think the simplest way to do it is to just flip it over and apply glue to the back so that you will do it correctly. And I'm using a lightweight glue, or, it's not really a lightweight glue. It's a very good glue. I'm using Barely Art glue, but truthfully, any white glue would work. It helps if you've got a small tip. And I left it, this is a little larger than I would normally do, but I had so many details with for cutting out the feathers that I thought I'd just leave it a little larger, and you can hang it on the wall or on a banner or a garland. I think it'll look really good on a garland, on our tombstone garland. I'm sure that's enough glue. So anchor it down to the orange piece. And I like these retro graphics. They're so bold. It's just two colors, but it really stands out beautifully. Okay, same thing. We want to make sure we're lined up correctly. So I'm just going to turn it over and apply glue to the back. You don't really need that much, but you know, we're paper crafting. We're having fun with glue. I did kind of overdo it. That's it. Isn't that nice? Have something that simple that looks this cool. Now let's just add a little glue to this little tab part so we can hang it up. And that's all there is to it. And it'll hang easily and just be a really fun decor item. Now this one, oh, I forgot. Wait, we do have one more thing to do. We have to add our tree branch. And I like things sturdy. So I'm going to do 2 layers. And it's angled. You can kind of tell by the way the feathers go. This is angled. So just kind of match up the claws. Apply glue kind of from the middle. You don't need it to go the whole way. And there is our owl on a tree. Now for this one, I actually inked it. I didn't have a brown. The brown color I thought it was kind of wimpy. So I inked it so it's a little bit darker and a little more mysterious. So anyway, I hope you have fun with this and can make an owl for your tombstone banner or for hanging on the wall or for whatever else you can come up with. You come up with a better idea of where to display it. Perch it on a tree, on a food display. It could be on the side of a bowl, like overlooking the food. That would be fun. And this one has the 2 holes for going on a banner. Alrighty. That's the easy craft for today. All right, y'all have a good day. Bye.